Hey everyone, my name is Dakota Hermes, founder of the company AdClass, and we run paid acquisition for many of the big names that you might see in the online space. I'm going to run through quite a few videos here, and I'm going to break down exactly here at AdClass how we set up paid traffic from start to finish. Basically, the easiest way to go from not spending anything to spending 100K plus a month if you so choose on paid traffic, hopefully profitably. We do this for a ton of people in the space. I'm going to jump in really shortly here and kind of walk through some of the credentials just so you know who you're learning from, and then we'll get right into the content. So I'm excited to go through this with you. If you need anything, feel free to reach out. My contact info will be in here somewhere, and I'm more than happy to help. So let's get into it. This is the paid traffic blueprint, how to go from 0 to 100K a month in spend. I am your host, Dakota. I'm gonna go through some quick credentials. So I've actually had the pleasure in the last 5 years of spending about 52 million or so on paid ads. So that includes primarily Meta, which is Facebook, Instagram, all of those platforms, as well as YouTube, Google, TikTok, all sorts of fun platforms in that spend. On that spend, I've actually generated well over $250 million in revenue for the businesses that I've spent that money for. And so some of the businesses that we've worked with and work with currently are listed here. A lot of great people on this slide. Maybe you've seen them, maybe you know of them, maybe you don't, but a lot of the big names in the online coaching consulting space is kind of who we've been proud to be able to work with. So one thing that we are very good at AdClass is helping great companies scale with paid advertising. So if it's a great offer, I'm confident we can help scale it. And so we're gonna go through exactly the strategies today on what we do to scale these great companies so that you can do it for yourself. What we're gonna cover, basically, step one, where do you even start? How do we get started with paid advertising? There's a lot of noise in the space. There's a lot of people saying this works, this doesn't work. What do I do? What don't I do? My goal today is to simplify this down to a very easy to follow strategy so that you can actually get started and get ads going profitably quickly without having to deal with all of the noise, all of the voices who are saying, wait, no, do YouTube ads. Wait, no, do Facebook, do TikTok, try it this way, do DM campaigns, right? Just tons and tons of stuff. I want to just simplify, give you one strategy that's proven to work and that you can implement into your business today. So that's step one. Step two, we're going to talk about how to actually create a highly converting ad. So what does the ad actually look like? Step three, the nuts and bolts. How do we kind of piece together, the funnel, and where do we send people and how do we track it? And, how do I actually get into the business manager and what does that all look like? Step four, this is going to be how do we actually make sure that we're not wasting any dollars by tracking our ads effectively? So we know every dollar we spend, this is what's happening. When we go into step five, we're going to actually launch ads together. So I'm going to screen share and show you guys exactly how to go into the ad platform and launch. And then step six, we're going to get to the fun part, which is once you've already launched and you're running ads, how do we scale? How do we cull? How do we know what's working and what's not working? How do we make data-driven decisions? Step seven, finally, is just daily, weekly, and monthly SOPs to set you up for success. So that is what we're covering in this training. Feel free to kind of go through it step by step and then come back and revisit some of the stuff that might be a little more complex, but we're gonna hop right into step one, which is where to start. See you in the next video. All right, so we're starting at the very beginning, which is what platform is working right now? What is the best platform to start with when it comes to running paid advertising? And this one is something that I get asked all the time. In fact, a lot of people reach out to us and say, hey, we're running ads on this platform. Should we try this one, right? Or, hey, does this work? Is always the question. And the answer is that pretty much any platform can work for any sort of ad and any offer. But that's not the question. The question shouldn't be, does it work? The question should be, where should I start? What we've found to be true is that Meta or Facebook, however you want to refer to it, is the best place to start. So we recommend starting with Meta, and there's a lot of reasons why. Number one, with Meta, you don't have to have a fully fleshed out video creative to start. So a lot of people will swear by YouTube ads and they want you to start on YouTube ads. But if we compare the two platforms, Meta versus YouTube, you have a lot of difference in what you have to have ready, produced, and beautifully edited in order to get an ad going. So what I mean by that is that on Meta, you can actually test a video, a photo, a carousel, just some text, a form. You can test all sorts of different things without needing a ton of polished video work. For example, a lot of people start on Meta and they might put just an image, some body copy or ad copy, a headline, and a link. and they can test that to some audiences and see if it works. That's proof of concept. If it works, now they know they should dedicate more time into creating more highly published ads, a full video ad, or something that they have to pay for an editor to look at, something like that. Whereas if you're starting on YouTube, you actually have to have all of that stuff done first. You might have to make 10, 20, 30 videos before something actually works. And if it doesn't work, you're back to square one and you've wasted a bunch of money spending on ads without actually seeing any traction. That's step number one for starting on Meta. Secondly, Meta just seems a little bit easier to learn for most people. There's less of a learning curve when you first get things set up. So when you get in there and you start messing around with it, you'll quickly learn how it works, how everything's laid out, and you'll actually be able to get quicker results just because the optimization process is a lot simpler on Meta. They've made it a lot more beginner friendly. Number three, there's a lot of audience strategies that just work out of the box on Meta that you might have a lot harder time getting to work on other platforms. Really, Meta is the place to start for those three reasons, and that's gonna be the primary focus of this whole training, is getting launched on Meta ads. Not to say other platforms don't work, but this is the one where I would highly recommend 99% of the time to start with. The next question is, when are you ready to start running ads? People all the time are asking, should I be spending on ads? Should I get more lead flow through ads? The better question is, are you profitable, right? So if you have a profitable business, but your main bottleneck is consistency or lead flow, basically when you get a lead, you're able to close them, you're able to get them enrolled in the program, but you just need more leads, then probably ads is a really good next step for you. If you've kind of emptied the well of organic traffic, if you're still trying to find more leads and you're doing DM outreach and you're on LinkedIn and you're on you're getting people in their inbox, right, to try to get more leads, ads is probably going to be a good solution for you because it's going to actually give you a consistent lead flow that you're probably missing out on right now. And that ebb and flow of leads from organic traffic is something that really is a big bottleneck for most entrepreneurs. So that's where ads can help. Now, if you're not quite selling yet, I wouldn't always recommend starting with ads. I would say prove it out somehow that doesn't cost you a bunch of money up front, right, in ad spend, and then start turning on ads would be my advice. So the next question that most people ask is, where should I send people, right? If I'm running ads, kind of what is the process that I should use to get them from not knowing about me at all to being educated enough to want to work with me? We kind of simplify this down to one funnel structure that we call the VSL funnel. And so the VSL funnel is really simple. It's basically a video sales letter embedded into a funnel that educates people on what it is you're good at doing, what your business, what your offer does for the world, how it solves a unique pain point for your prospects, right? And so what it looks like is something like this. This is the standard VSL funnel. So you start with the ad, obviously. From the ad, we send to a landing page. And this landing page is actually just an opt-in page. So it's collecting anything from email to email and phone number to email and name, right? Anything like that. Email is usually the baseline. Once we collect that email, which we do about 20 to 25% of the time, right? That's the metric. So 20 to 25% of the clicks go on to give us their email at least. And then from giving their email, they go on to what we call the VSL page. And this is just a really simple page. It's honestly just a page with video content embedded onto it that teaches the person about what you do. This VSL is kind of the special sauce of this funnel, but primarily it's a thing that you have to test a lot. And so you might make a VSL that gets a lot of people to book a call, but maybe doesn't qualify them quite well enough for a sale. You might have a VSL that never gets someone to book a call and overqualifies, right? And there's all of these little tweaks that you might have to make to that VSL step, which is a whole other training, but pretty much the sum of it is this has to be a page that uses video to educate your leads on what you do. Overall, what it should do is it should sell them, but it should only sell them on getting on a phone call with you. We're not actually pitching the product here. We're not selling something from, a webinar. We're not selling on the actual video itself. What we're doing is we're offering a free call or a consultation with you or your team from this VSL. So we actually push from the VSL page to the booking page. The booking page here is going to be literally just like a Calendly or Schedule Once booking page that allows them to book a call with you or your team. And that is where the actual enrollment or sale will happen, is on that call. So after they book a call, they actually go to a success page that kind of builds out some proof on who you are, gives them some instructions for how to show up to the call, gives them next steps. After that, they go to a call, they actually talk to someone on your team, and then they purchase. This whole funnel happens pretty dang quickly, right? They go from ad to landing page to opt-in to booking to success, and then hopefully in the next day or two, they get on a call and they're ready to purchase. This sort of lead flow that's generated from this funnel is really, really consistent. Once it's dialed in, can be something that you can spend a lot of money on, upwards of hundreds of thousands of dollars a month generating booked calls for your business, which will allow you to kind of systemize the rest of the process. There's some stuff that happens on the back end down here as well. I won't touch on that too much here today, but needless to say, these are just emails that get sent out to all the people that opt in, pushing them back to this VSL or to the booking page, trying to get them to book a call with you in an automated way via email. So to add on to that funnel diagram, I wanted to also show here some actual KPIs for each step in the funnel. So these are the same steps that I showed here on the presentation, right? Landing page, VSL page, booking page, and success page. All of these here are still kind of shown diagrammed out here. What I really wanted to show here is that the cost typically is highlighted here in column I. So typically you want to get a click into your funnel for less than $5 from ads. These are pretty qualified clicks, so we're willing to spend a decent amount on them. From there, the cost per lead should really be sub $25. So in some funnels, this might be as low as $5, depending on the friction in the audience. In some, it might be higher, like $35 or $40. But typically speaking, we do want it to be somewhere around $20 to $25, depending on the cost per click and the opt-in percentage on that landing page, which I mentioned should be probably above 20%, 15 to 20% at least. From there, they should actually get to the VSL page and then to the booking page. This will change right here. I have free trial page, but this could be booking page, whatever's next in the funnel for you. And this should be for about $75 per person. So you're paying $50 to $75 to actually get someone to land on your booking page after watching your video content. And then from there, actually getting a booked call on the calendar, depending on what questions you ask and how you qualify them to book on your calendar, this should happen somewhere between $150 and $300. So some people like to ask a lot of qualifying questions there. How much money are you making? And have you ever invested in a program before? Things like that. That's gonna drive up cost, right? Because people are not gonna wanna answer that very much. Might also drive up quality, but that's a tightrope that you kind of have to walk. If you're not doing a lot of friction though, this should be something about somewhere around $100 to $150, maybe $200, $250 for a booked call. And then you can kind of backward design all of your KPIs from there, because if you're getting booked calls, you should be closing roughly 10% of those booked calls. You're gonna have some no-shows, you're gonna have some cancellations, but you should be able to at least get 10, hopefully more, but hopefully 10% at least of those calls to actually convert on your offer. And that's where the fun starts to begin, because then you can actually backward design all of these KPIs to work for your business specifically. So I wanted to show you that because that is kind of an overview of what you should be paying for each step in the funnel here and kind of how to backward design that. We'll actually get more into the metrics and how to really look at what's working and what's not in a future module here. But I wanted to give you an overview of the standard funnel we're going to be running on paid traffic for this. All right, on to part 2. See you there.